Hello, everyone, and welcome to our May Bootcamp. It's titled The Art of Becoming Your Highest Self. I'm really excited for this topic. I'm Haley Carlson. I am a manifestation and wellness coach. I work with high-performing individuals to help them create a life of freedom through purpose, pleasure, and profit. And I'm so excited that you've joined us here today, whether you're live on the Zoom or you are watching the replay, which I encourage you to do, even after you've watched the recording. But, we're here. Keith is here as well. You've probably heard from him on my team. And we're here today to talk about you. All right. This is all personal growth is about, bringing more of who you are to the surface in order to express who you are, to achieve the goals that you have in really any and every area of your life. Okay, so again, this week is about you. My personal journey started about 6 or 7 years ago now, when I found myself, I was in corporate America for over 20 years. I found myself kind of on this hamster wheel of, getting the same results year in and year out. I would have some really good years and then some, not so great years. And I didn't really know why. I was trying to break through and trying to get to that next level in terms of career and finances, relationships. And I found myself, it started for me on a health and wellness journey of, I went through a year-long program at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition to become a health and wellness coach. I did that, and then I became a yoga teacher, meditation instructor, which eventually led me, after about 3 years, it led me to the Proctor Gallagher Institute and Bob Proctor. And I became a client first. I went through the program Thinking into Results, which is what I coach now. And I found myself, really trying very hard to leave my day job and go out and start my business, my health and wellness coaching business full time. But I couldn't. I was really struggling to do it on my own. And so it wasn't until I invested in coaching and mentorship with Bob and Arash at PGI that things really, really started to shift for me. So I went through, a couple of the programs, and I ultimately found my purpose in becoming a mindset manifestation coach, because I realized once we have control of the mind, we can control any area of our life. We can create. We can really truly learn to live from the inside out and not be affected by our circumstances and conditions. Which is how we're programmed. And so I found my passion, again, my purpose, and now I love, love, love working with other people to help them create the same kind of freedom for themselves. So again, that's just a little bit about me. This week is about you. We're going to be going live on Zoom every day, Monday through Friday. And then at the end of the week, we have a special little offer for you that we'll share. But where I want to start, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, and where I want to start, again, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen me, oops, sorry about that, slideshow, there we go. All right, so I last week did a reading with my mastermind partner titled Yourself, and I wanted to start with this because this is such a special essay for me, written by Thomas Troward, who is one of Bob's mentors. And he has a book called Your Hidden Power, right here. And this is the very first essay that I read with an accountability partner when I became a coach and consultant with PGI. And it is the very first one that I read. It was for over 140 days straight, where we only read 2 paragraphs. Okay. And when you're studying this material, the repetition is everything. It is essential to really understanding it, but it's also to have that accountability and be able to break it down with, with an accountability partner or a coach or a mastermind. And so this essay, which is a couple pages long, but I'm only going to read the first few paragraphs that I started with. I really encourage you. We'll post it in the group as well. But it is this is what really helped me raise my awareness to truly understand that everything comes down to us and what it is that we want, who we are. All of our results are a direct reflection of what's going on inside of us. You're going to hear that said over and over again this week. So this is where I wanted to start. Okay, I have the book in front of me, but I also pulled everything onto the slides here for you guys to follow along. All right. So it starts by saying, I want to talk to you about the livingness there is in being yourself. It has at least the merit of simplicity, for it must surely be easier to be oneself than it is to be something or somebody else. Right? It's so much easier. It should be so much easier. And it's so simple to be ourselves than to try and be someone else. And he goes on to say, yet that is what so many are constantly trying to do. The self that is their own is not good enough for them. So they are always trying to go one better than what God has made them, with endless strain and struggle as the consequence. Of course, they are right to put before them an ideal infinitely grander than anything that they have yet attained. The only possible way of progress is by following an ideal that is always a stage ahead of us. But the mistake is in not seeing that its attainment is a matter of growth. And that growth must be the expansion of something that already exists in us, and therefore implies our being what we are and where we are at as its starting point. So actually, I thought there was supposed to be another slide, but I'm going to keep going. So the last little line here says, this growth is a continuous process, and we cannot do next month's growth without first doing this month's. But we are always wanting to jump into some ideal of the future, right? Not seeing that we can reach it only by steadily going on from where we are now. Okay, so I want to go back to this because this is what we do, break it down, right, to really understand it. So in coaching, we talk about ideals, right? Our ideals are a goal that we're going after. We call them C-type goals, but it is a goal. It's something that you're going after that you have not yet attained. Okay, and the only possible way of progress is by following an ideal that is always a stage ahead of us. So a goal it's not about the achievement of the goal, it's about the growth that you experience in the process. All right. And it says, but the mistake is in not seeing that its attainment is a matter of growth. So we start to go after a new goal. We'll get into goal setting in a couple days here. But we start with this goal and then we start to work towards it. And if we're not seeing immediate progress, a lot of us will go back and into, well, I'm not going to achieve that. I'm not going to be able to achieve, accomplish that. But the mistake in that is not seeing that its attainment is a matter of growth, right? And that growth must be the expansion of something that already exists in us. So it all comes back to us, right? And that is why we're here today. So, oh, there it is. Sorry, I'm getting used to the new slides here. Hold on. So yeah, it's on the last slide there. So today is all about the self-image, okay? The self-image is a concept that we hold of ourselves. And I was sitting, when I started to get coached and mentored, with PGI, I was sitting in a ballroom in LA at a paradigm shift event. And I heard Bob say this quote from the stage, and it's by Bill Gove, who was a famous speaker and teacher in his time. He was one of Bob's mentors. And I heard Bob say this, and he said, if I want to be free, I've got to be me. Not the me you think I should be, not the me I think my husband, wife, partner thinks I should be, not the me my kids think I should be. If I want to be free, I've got to be me. So I better know who me is. And I remember hearing that, and I remember thinking, wow, do I really know who I am? Do I truly know what it is that I want? What do I want to do? What do I want to be? Why am I here? And so I'd always been a very inquisitive child growing up, like what is the meaning to life and those kinds of things. And, I had a long journey, as I mentioned, with yoga, meditation, my own health and wellness coaching and healing from that and past trauma. But I got to this point where I had done a lot of work and I still didn't really know who I was. And so I thought, I'm a mom, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter. Like I wanted to be an example. I wanted to lead by example. And so I really started to really get serious with myself for the first time is what it felt like. And so, what I have learned and why I love teaching about self-image is that, we have, and we'll get into Dr. Maxwell Maltz in a minute here, but what he discovered back in the 60s through his work was that we have this inner self-image and we have an outer self-image. Okay, so the outer self-image is what we project to the world, right? It's our outer expression of the inner image. And the outer image is how other people see us. And it's often how we want them to see us. Okay. Then we have this inner image, and the inner image is the perception of who we are. Who I am, what is my worth. And the thing is that it's this image, this inner self image is like a control mechanism that determines what comes into our life and how well we do. So if you equate it to, like, if you see yourself, it's not enough just to have a goal. Let's say you want to earn X amount. The number doesn't matter. It's just an aiming point. And it's just kind of a benchmark as to where you're at. But it's, if you, let's say you want to earn, 100,000 every month. If you don't see yourself, like you actually have to become that person first from the inside out before you can attract that into your life. If you're looking for a relationship, a partner, you have to first become that person before you can attract that other person into your life. Same with health. And so a lot, this isn't stuff that's taught, right, in school. And so a lot of us are going to wonder, like, why our results go up and down. I know I found myself, I'd have like a really good month in my job in corporate and where my sales were really great. And then the next month they would dip. And when you start to ask yourself, like, if you have a negative image of yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, what if they don't understand me? Your results are going to be negative. And if you have a positive image, they'll be positive. Well, the goal with working on the self-image and becoming that person first is that we want to stay obviously over on the right hand side here way more often. I mean, you're going to have dips, it's just natural, but you really want to develop such a strong self-image that that it's how you're getting the results that you're getting. Again, I'm going to go back to this line over and over. Your self-image is a direct reflection of what you draw into your life. And the thing is that you can never outperform your own self-image. Okay, you can change it, but you cannot outperform it. And so when you really get into this work and start to understand this, often the thing is that we're not aware of that image that we hold of ourselves, right? And it impacts literally every area of our life. Okay. And like I said, the image is like this cybernetic mechanism. If you think about like the thermostat in your house, right? It controls the temperature of your home. And if you, let's say it's set to 70, if you open the door, I have a new place. I love having this cross breeze from the front to the back. When you open, you get a breeze in, the thermostat knows how to regulate, right? It knows what that set point is. And that is the same thing with our self-image. Okay, there's another analogy that I love that where if you're taking a flight, let's say from New York to London, and the control mechanism in the plane, they set it on autopilot. Like the plane knows if it deviates from that path to go right back, right? And so this is why the self-image is so important, because it operates exactly the same way. Right? So if your results are going up and down, then that is what is controlling your results, is the self-image. So again, Maxwell Maltz, like I said, he has this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, brilliant read. The self-image, it sets the boundary. Oops, 1 second. I think we're having some programming. 1 second. Okay. So the self-image, it sets the boundary for your performance and your achievement, okay? We act, behave, and feel according to what we consider our self-image to be. And again, we do not deviate from this pattern, right? So think about that. It sets the boundary for your performance, which is why we always have to go inside if we want to get different results. So this is that book, Psycho-Cybernetics. I highly recommend it. If you don't have it already, you can get it on Audible as well. But some of the key concepts taken straight from this study is that our self-image is formed by our experiences, right? It's formed by our experiences in life. So it starts from a very young age. And if you think about like a baby, when a baby is born, it is when the baby is born, it has no ability to accept or reject what's coming into its subconscious, right? The self-image is formed first for us by our experiences through our caregivers, our parents, and it is formed for us by our experiences, and it's very rare that we ever question it. Right? So the point number 2 here is that it's our conception of the kind of person we are, right? So it's the concept that we hold of ourselves, right? It's who we think we are and who we think we're not. And we very rarely, the point number 3 here, we very rarely ever question its validity until we get into this work. So we believe it is true and we act as if it's true. And we act like that person. And in fact, like we can't act any other way, right? No amount of willpower will stop it because it's just running on autopilot, right? Going back to that analogy. So that's why, you're going to hear the same repetition over and over, because it's so important to truly understand the concept that you hold of yourself in order to change your results. Okay. I remember, I had asked Bob at one point, I remember we were on a team call a couple years ago, and I had asked him, if people are doing the work, right? Doing the work, you're doing your study, you're perhaps involved in a coach or mentorship program, you're doing the personal growth work, but if you're not seeing results, there's only 2 things that it could be. Number 1, it could be, right, there's the law of incubation, like we don't know how long it's going to take for the manifestation, or so it could just be a timing thing. Or the second thing is it's the self-image. And so, because if the image is not there, he said, the results aren't going to be there. Because again, it's a direct reflection of what we draw into our life, right? We're like magnets, we're like walking magnets. And so that's why, like, I work on my self-image every day, and we're going to get you into some action here in a few minutes, so that you can as well, and really, get an experience for what this means for yourself. So, we act and feel in accordance to what we imagine to be true about ourselves. Okay. So here's where I want to challenge you. And I want you to write this down, go back and watch the replay, but really think tonight. Okay. What do I believe about myself? How do I feel about myself? What do I think about myself? Okay. And then, what do I think about myself? Right. And so here is what, going back to yourself, right? Because it all comes back to us. Here's what most people, walking around with mass consciousness, here's what they think of themselves, is that I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. So that goes right to the self-image. So I am who I think you think I am. So, it all comes down to building this winner's image, right? So we want new results. We've got to go to the image and create a new and improved self-image, right? We call it a winner's image, because we're all winners, right? We're all winners, but in order to really level up, make that quantum leap, increase your health, wealth, vitality, your personal freedom, that's what it's all about. It's about creating a new image. So I wanted to start with that this week. Your new image, again, will be expressed through your behavior and reflected in new and improved results every time. It works without fail. So what I want you guys to do, okay, this little diagram is called the circle of life. It's one of the very first things I learned in nutrition school. It is what I was taught and learned and coach on is that there's something called bio-individuality, right? Where we are all unique. There's not one size fits for all people. It's about figuring out what it is you are meant to express at any area of your life, because you could work on your relationships and then get that to a level, and then the next, a couple months down the road, you want to work on your career, or you want to work on your spirituality. There's all these different areas of life, and what they're called is, we call them primary foods. And when your primary foods are in balance, what makes up our life, then the secondary food that we consume is not as, like, we're not trying to fill ourselves with things that that might not serve us, right? We're not trying to fill a void of any kind. And people do it through poor habits, lack of, physical wellness, mental wellness, spiritual wellness. And so I wanted to include this article, this slide and this activity. We have a workbook for you that will be posted in the group. It's called a Power Life Pack. And it's just filled with a lot of different information that, I wanted to give you guys to help you. But on the third page, or actually page 3 of the Power Life Pack, it takes you through the exercise for how to figure out what area you might want to work on. So a theme that I hear a lot from clients and from, friends and people that I talk to, is that they're not really sure what they want to work on. They're not really sure what their goal is or what kind of goal they should set. And so again, we'll get into goal setting in a few days here, but this is going to be unique to you. And so just to take you through the exercise, so what you want to do, and it explains it in the workbook, is you want to go through each area. So joy, spirituality, creativity, finances, career, so on and so forth. And you're going to place a dot. So you can print off this page. You're going to place a dot when you're farthest away from the center is on a scale of 1 to 10. So if 10 being you're incredibly filled with joy, or let's say your social life, you have an amazing social life, you feel really good about that, you're going to place that dot the farthest away from the center. And then let's say if there's another area, let's say you want to work on your finances, you're going to place that closer to the center. Some may be right here, smack in the center. And then once you get through all of those primary foods, and you could substitute some of these, if, home environment isn't something that you want to include, just scratch it out and put something that you think intuitively that you want to work on. And then what you're going to do is you're going to literally just connect the dots. Okay. And it's going to tell you a story. It's going to give you a picture of what area you want to focus on. And that'll help us with goal setting as we go throughout this week. All right. And so the assignment then for day 1, again, this will all be posted in the group under the guide section, is I want you to both do the circle of life exercise, but then I also want you to write out your power life script. Okay, we'll post the instructions for this, but basically it's where you want to see yourself 1 year from now. Okay, 1 year from now. And what you want to do is, again, this will all be outlined in the group, but it should be about a page and a half long if you type it out. You can write it out as well, but I want you to really include every area of your life. Okay, where do you want to see yourself? Where do you want your finances to be? Where do you want your career to be? Your relationships, right? And write it out in the present tense, okay? And then take a picture and post it in the group. We really want to encourage you to interact in the group, please, under the post for the assignment. We'll be tagging you guys as well. But that is the exercise for day 1. And then I want to encourage you, and Keith's going to come on here as well in a minute here and share some takeaways. But the replays are essential. Right? Everything happens through repetition of this material. And so go back and watch this replay and then invite some friends. I posted this past weekend, I believe, that we have a referral program going on. So if you refer 3 people to this event, to this registration page, and they sign up, send me their names in a direct message. And when they sign up and enroll, we'll include you in a workshop, a VIP closed door workshop that we're going to do the week after next, around your goal setting and your goal planning. Okay. Again, this is all about you. And this is only going to work if we have participation. So I'm so excited you guys have joined us for this week, and post any key takeaways as you want as well. And then I'm going to stop the share. There we go. Keith, do you want to share anything? I know you dropped off and had to come back on, so I think I did most of the housekeeping. Oh, are you not long? There you go. Can you hear me, Keith? No, I think he's frozen. Okay, no worries. Thanks for joining, guys. Mercury is in retrograde, so there we go. There are technical issues, and you know what? We still just roll with it, right? Go ahead, Keith.
Absolutely, thank you so much, Haley. I was actually about to say, besides just giving you the takeouts from the lesson, I think for me, like right now, in this very moment, I'm experiencing what in South Africa we call load shedding, which is essentially when the energy grid goes off for a couple of hours, right? And I think that's part of it. It's like, do I just let myself become, be moved by this experience of load shedding, or do I just roll with it and just have fun, right? And I think this is really what self-image is all about. When you understand the person that you are, and that your image is essentially stronger than your circumstance, right? And that's really what we want to start getting into, this idea that when you see yourself at your highest, most optimum self, there's absolutely nothing that can distract you from the goals and the things that you want for yourself, right? So it's literally the retrograde came at the perfect time.
Oh my God, it's so funny. I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, because it's like, okay, so how are you going to respond to your circumstances, right? Are you responding or are you reacting? And when I was talking to a client earlier today about, she has some haters on social media, and, are you going to let that affect you? Or are you going to be strong enough to know that, like, to push through and just know that that's a part of growth? Like, that is a part of, hey, like, you're doing something well when that happens. So yeah, it is all about, like, when you have that strong self-image and you know that you know who you are, like, nothing can get you down. So yeah, it's are you responding or are you reacting? That's great. Love it.
Absolutely. I absolutely love that. And guys, this is such a powerful lesson. I'm actually doing a similar lesson as part of my coaching process as well. I've been doing it for the past couple of weeks now. And, I was supposed to have moved on from this part of the lesson, but there's something about this lesson that just wants me to continue learning about, the self-image and how to really strengthen it but also how to really nurture it, right? And bring more of myself to the surface. And I think this is this is this is the power of of repetition. It's the power of seeing yourself at your highest self. And I think what I really want to take out here is how powerful it is to actually visualize the person that you want to be, but visualize it in the present moment, right? And I think that's really what we want you to do for this assignment is to visualize, like Haley said, where do you see yourself in a year from now? But don't visualize the future, visualize it as if it's already happened, right? Like take a snapshot of that image, because ultimately, as human beings, we actually are visual species. We visualize everything. We think in pictures, we dream in pictures. Everything is about pictures, right? So what we want you to do is to essentially just go to that moment, sit with it, totally relax, and just take a snapshot of it and write it down, right? Write it down in the present moment. What is this person experiencing, and who are they in this moment, right? And I think what's important is, once you start doing that wheel, that circle of life, you'll start to very, very clearly, you'll start to see where this person might need to work on certain things. Because once you see yourself at the end, it's easy for you to be like, oh, great, actually, these are the things that I need to do to be able to match this person and essentially become this person, right? And I think that's such a powerful assignment, because it really gives you the vision, which essentially, once the vision is embodied in your spirit, in your mind, in your body, the only way the only thing you can do is to really move forward with it, right? So that's really what we want you to do. And I think it's such a powerful lesson to learn and to repeat. And every time you find yourself, veering away from that image, just bring yourself back. Just bring yourself back, relax, bring yourself back to this image. What would this person do, right? In whatever circumstance that you might face. So once you've written that image of yourself, what we want you to do is to really post it in the group, but also just interact with the people that are posting. I mean, there's currently, some people that are currently attending live here. So, if you guys want to tag each other in your in encouraging each other about this person that you see, about yourselves, please go ahead, tag each other. Let's just have that interaction. I think it's important to start building that connection, because ultimately we all want to become the highest version of ourselves. And what I also want to talk about is, we'll obviously send you guys a replay email, but what we really want you to do is this lesson, if you want to watch it over and over again, please go ahead and do that, because again, it's that repetition that gets this image really just, enhanced, and you'll be able to take it forward. So that's the assignment for today, and we'll definitely post the replay in the group as well. And we encourage you, when you come back tomorrow to the lesson, if you want to ask questions inside the chats as well, please go ahead and do that.
Absolutely. I just want to add a couple things that came to mind as you were talking. Building a new self-image, you guys, doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean that, so don't come from a place of like, I don't have this and this is what I'm creating, because that is coming from scarcity, and we can't create abundance when we're coming from scarcity. Okay. So it's about being neutral with yourself and where you're at right now, and then creating a higher version, right? Going back to the theme is the art of becoming your highest self, is you're creating a higher level of awareness within yourself of what is capable, of what is possible for you. Right. And and the thing is about self-image work is that it's never over. Right? It's never done. Like anytime we set a new goal, we have to go to and create a new image. So that's why working on your self-image every day is so essential to your growth, because even just a little bit every day, like right now I have my image printed off, and it's tucked in the book that I read every morning. And then I just will take like one paragraph and read just that one paragraph every day and like really embody it so that you can become it. It's not about just getting through the exercise to get through it. You want to like really feel your way into it, right? Create that feeling, because the secret, you'll hear me say it over and over again, The secret with all of this is in the feeling. So that's what you're doing, is you're creating a feeling within you that is like a magnet, drawing to you what it is that you desire. So it all comes back to what it is you desire. So it's not what other people, you think that they want for you. And we'll get into all that with goal setting. But that, I just wanted to add that and close with that. Thank you again. Apologies for the technical issues here and there, but here we are, and we're so happy you're with us this week. And we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye bye.
Bye.